Hello YouTube! Today's video is all about the political spectrum. So, what is it? Classically, the political spectrum has been divided into two halves, the left and the right. The idea of left and right comes from the early French Revolution era, between 1789 and 1799. In the various legislative groups, the aristocrats, or those who were loyal to the crown, sat on the right side of the court. They were in favor of the natural law, a traditional social order, and believed in the importance of unchanging values. The commoners, or the anti-monarchists, also known as the radicals, sat on the left side of the court. They were in support of social equality, against the idea of monarchy, and believed in egalitarianism. Fast forward to today, and we see the right as the ones who emphasize the importance of religion, importance of tradition, and believing in a set of social norms derived from faith. The left are the ones who are typically in support of secularism, social equality, and progressive changes in society. In summary, it was the seating arrangement of the courts that gave us the ideas of left and right, and the societal values that stem from them. But how did these social views get mixed in with the economy? And ideas of little and big government, where did they come from? Post-revolution, the idea of aristocracy was on the decline, but a new ideology was on the rise: capitalism. Headed by a man by the name of Adam Smith, capitalism attempted to fill the gap left by aristocrats. Instead of a few people controlling the wealth by bloodline, it would be the hard-working many controlling the wealth based on effort, in theory. Emphasizing the importance of private ownership of resources and the means of production, capitalists wanted as little interference from the government as possible, so they could run their businesses without influence from an outside power. This would be the foundation for the economic right, or those who want as little influence from the government in the operation of free markets. The left, on the other hand, headed by Karl Marx, criticized the capitalist motif. Their concerns were that this new system of capitalism has the same drawbacks as the aristocracy that had been recently abolished. In capitalism, once someone has control of the resources, it's theirs and theirs alone, leaving everyone else with the option of either working for them or death. I think that's what they thought, I guess. I don't know. But these fears would be the foundation for socialism, whereby the means of production are held by the government and distributed to the citizens accordingly, in theory. To summarize, the clash between the leftist view of the nationalization of resources versus the rightist view of the privatization of resources is what led to the current system we see today. The main idea of big government and small government is an extension of government intervention within the economy. For the left, it is a bigger concern that the government regulate the economy to prevent resources from being stockpiled by an individual or corporation. In addition, they expect that the government use their power to collect taxes and use the money to pay for social services for the population. This increase of power is the key behind the term big government. For the right, the belief of private ownership and self-sufficiency is a high priority. To be able to provide for oneself without having to rely on others is a key tenet of the right-wing ideology. They prefer that the government stay out of the markets and allow the market efficiency to drive supply and demand for resources, which should theoretically remove any inefficiencies that the government intervention would add through a process known as the invisible hand. They also believe that taxation is a burden and that people should be allowed to support themselves without interference from the government. This reduction in government power is the basis behind small government. So in summary, the idea of big government and small government stem from how much intervention one believes they should have within the lives of their citizens. Now that we can map this out, we can look at things like the political compass, which contrasts left and right-wing views of the economy on the x-axis with authoritarian and libertarian views on government power on the y-axis. Most democracies fall somewhere around the center point, either skewed slightly to the right or slightly to the left. In Canada, the Liberals, Conservatives, and NDP would all fall very close to the center point, with their relation to their views on economic intervention placing them accordingly to the left or right. The only disadvantage to using the political compass is that it leaves out the social aspect, which one must keep in mind when mapping them on here. The extreme points on the y-axis refer to either total government control or total citizen control. Historically, these are points you want to stay away from if you like living a relatively happy life. These regimes either take everything or provide nothing. It tends to take a combination between government power and individual power to have a happy functioning society, as far as we've seen. In conclusion, the idea of right-wing politics is characterized as conservative social views and relatively minimal government intervention in the lives of the citizens, while left-wing politics is characterized by liberal social views and more government intervention in the lives of the citizens. The idea of authoritarianism and libertarianism is a spectrum that both right and left-wing politics can fall onto. This was What the Politics, and I'll catch you later.